All right, we're going to work on exercise 6-1, which is enhancing the Invoice Total application. Step 1 is to open up the starter files, which I have here. And if you run this application, it works right now. So I'm going to say customer type is R, subtotal is 300. That works just fine. It has all the code in here. And what we're going to do is work with functions and sub-procedures. So step 2 says refactor the discount percent calculation, which is this stuff here, right? This is where discount percent is defined and then calculated below. So we want to refactor this as described in figure 6.6, which I believe is just control period, allows us to extract the method. So we're going to extract the method, and you see now that we have a new private function, which is right now called new method, and it automatically knows that this is based on subtotal, so that gets passed in as parameter, and what gets returned is the decimal. That's Visual Studio working for you. And step 2 says call this discount PCT. So go ahead and hit apply. So what happened here in our main sub-procedure, now we're calling discount PCT and we're sending the subtotal as an argument. That's our first parameter here is subtotal. Inside of our function, discount percent is defined as a decimal that's set to a value based on these rules, and then it's returned. So that value gets returned through here and gets saved back up into this discount percent, and our code continues running. So when I hit F5 and I run this, I say customer type is R, subtotal is 300, you should get the exact same thing as before. But now we're using a function instead of having all that code in here, which is nice because if you need to reuse this code, you can just call this function again. All right, step 4, making a change. It says to undo what you just did, but I want to be able to see what you did. So instead, select that function, hit Control-K, Control-C, which will comment it out, or you can hit the comment icon up here. And then we're also going to comment out the line that calls the function. I made a quick copy of that line. I duplicated it by putting my cursor on the function call line. I hit Control-D, will duplicate a line. And then I just got rid of this part. So we have now dim discount percent as decimal. So we're able to work with discount percent. All right. Step 5 is, so if I run this right now, we never get a discount percent applied, right? Discount percent as decimal, this is implied to be equal to 0. And then we do these calculations with discount percent as is 0. So if I run my application, discount percent, no matter what I put in, is going to be 0 because I haven't set it to anything. And step 5 says start a sub procedure. So private sub, and we're calling this get discount percent. And it's going to take 3 parameters. We have customer type as string. We have subtotal as decimal. And we have discount percent as decimal. Okay, and the end sub got put in there for us. All right, that'll and then copy the if statement. So we're going to take this stuff here from our function, copy that, paste in our sub, select those lines, KU to uncomment all those lines. And so right now this sub procedure takes in customer type, subtotal, and get discount percent. And discount percent as parameters. We want to make sure that in our sub procedure, we're not looking at txt customer type.text. We're looking at customer type. Okay, so I need to change that there and there. Subtotal is already changed through here, and discount percent is being set here. So remember that these arguments are being sent in by value is the default. Meaning when I call this subprocedure, it takes the value of this and sends it in. Subprocedures can't return anything, so on discount percent, I want to send that through by ref. And what that's doing is it's pointing back to the variable that is referenced when I call this subprocedure. And I haven't called this subprocedure yet, so I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to say me.getDiscount percent. And my arguments, you can see IntelliSense automatically fills this in for me. So I need to send in customer type, which is txt customer type.text. I then need to give it the subtotal, which if you look at line 5, we've already pulled out into a variable. So I can just give it subtotal. And then discount percent, which I defined on line 7, right there. So remember, discount percent is being passed in by reference. So this discount percent here is actually pointing to this variable, whereas this subtotal is a copy of the subtotal. So let's look at what happens if we don't pass this by ref. And if you don't pass it by ref, by default it's by val, customer type R300, and the discount percent is nothing. So if we follow this logic, we define discount percent as a decimal, which is value 0. We call this subprocedure, which remember it's a subprocedure, so it doesn't return anything. And because of that, discount percent being passed in by value, it never gets updated. So if we change this to by ref, run it again, R300, this time when the subprocedure is called, it's using a reference to discount percent, which is this, which gets updated here. So let's put in, I'm going to put in a breakpoint here, and maybe we can see this happening. So right now, discount percent is 0 before I call this subprocedure. And then when I step through discount percent, and we're still stepping through this, to walking through, and remember I sent in 300, so we're not there yet. Okay, this one hit. So now we're going to set discount percent to 25%. And then you can see that discount percent in my locals window turned red, and now it's 25%. So I end the sub, I come back up here, and discount percent is still 25% because we passed this by reference. Okay, so that was steps like 5 and 6 together. I'm going to get rid of my breakpoint. We don't need that. And then finally, add an event handler named clear all boxes that handles the text changed event for the customer type and subtotal text boxes. So customer type, if I go to properties and look at events, so I went to the properties window, I clicked on the lightning bolt for events, and I already have customer type selected. We're going to look for text changed. Okay, it's right there. And we need a new event handler called clear all boxes. And so I typed in clear all boxes, I hit enter, and it jumped me back to the code and automatically gave me the subprocedure named clear all boxes that handles txt customer type text changed. And this event handler should clear the values in the text boxes that display the results. So that's these three: discount percent, amount, and total. So I'm going to just assume txt discount percent dot text is cleared, txt discount percent txt.text is cleared and txt total.text is cleared. So this is handling when the text is changed inside customer type. Let's run this. R300. And if I take this R and I change it, these values, these text fields, got set to empty. All right, and this step though says to do that on customer type and subtotal. So click on subtotal, look at the events, text change. Now we have a drop down here, and I'm going to say clear all boxes. If you look back at your code now, you'll see that clear all boxes is called, it's handled by when customer type is changed and when subtotal is changed. Or when subtotal is changed. It'll call this sub procedure. So if our customer type is R300, there we go. If I change this 300 to a 600, the boxes are cleared and it waits for me to hit calculate. And that is exercise 6.1. Save it, zip it up, send it over.